Okay, we should be streaming. And we are here at Venice in Florida, simulated Venice at least, and we're going to shoot a couple of practice approaches, and then and then we are going to also test out the fresh install I have working here of... Hey Scott, good to see you. We're going to practice a couple approaches very quickly, don't have a lot of time, and then we're also going to test the new install of Windows 10. So I've been having trouble with crashes in the streams in particular, and I did a full wipe of the hard drive yesterday, fully reinstalled all of Windows, and only the essential things I need to run X-Plane and the devices in the sim. So that's what we're trying today, and we're going to see how it works, and at least get one approach down to minimums out of the way here. We'll see how things are going, and hopefully we won't have a crash. Hello to the folks in the UK. Let's see, make sure our windows are working here. Looks like my stream is a little bit behind in terms of what I'm seeing on the screen. But we should be able to see out the left window. We should be able to see out the right window. And we should be able to see out the front window. Let me just double check, make sure that's working. This is real world weather here in terms of what's going on in Venice at the moment. So the yeah, it looks like that's working. So the weather is poor in Venice. IFR conditions for sure. And we'll get the current METAR here in a second. Then we're going to shoot at least one approach. If we have time, we'll shoot two. We'll see. It's not raining, but it's cloudy. So we'll shoot one or two approaches and then go from there. Venice is 119.275. Already got it dialed in there.
Venice Muni weather. Wind 040 at 7, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 800 overcast, temperature 13, dew point 11. Altimeter 2999.
2999. Okay, so we're lined up here on runway 5. Given that, I think what we'll do is we'll first approach is well, how much time do we have? Let's fly. Let's do this. Let's fly the RNAV 13 from Favta, and we'll do a circle to land. Onto 05. That'll set us up to make a. That'll set us up to enter into a left downwind for 05, which is what that pattern is in the real world anyway. So we'll brief this approach in a minute. First of all, let's go ahead and let's get ourselves plugged in here. Looks like the weather just updated. Now I ran this yesterday for maybe 30 or 40 minutes and didn't have any problems in terms of a crash, but I'm suspicious of Windows. And we'll get the approach loaded once we're up there. So we'll take off 05 and then presume we have imaginary vectors. There's Favta is 2,000, so we'll climb to 2,500. We'll presume that they give us runway heading, which is going to be 050. And then they give us 250. This altitude bug is a little finicky. They give us 250, and that we're going to go back over to tamper approach on 119.65, so let's be ready for that. Just like we would in the real world. And what they'll do is we'll fly outbound for a little bit, and then they'll give us a right turn, left turn to a heading of 320. Vectors to FATA. We won't need to do the procedure turn, and we'll brief the approach on the way. So let's take one last look at the chat. Now what program? Okay, the program on the iPad is ForeFlight, and it's what I use in the real world when I'm flying. It's an electronic flight bag. It works really well, and it talks to X-Plane. There are a variety of different subscription levels, and I went ahead and paid for a basic subscription level even before I started flying, just because it's so great for running real-world procedures and things like that. Capture card I'm using now, I'm not quite sure. It's I think a Magellan. I don't remember. Good morning, TJ. Good morning from the Netherlands. How do I turn on the plugins after I download them? I don't really know what that means. The plugins in X-Plane, plugins work automatically. So if you have them in the plugin folder, they turn on all by themselves. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off here and we'll get started. So let's just make sure we're ready to go. We've got flaps 50, make sure it's full rich. Strobe is on, nav is on, landing light is on. We've done flight controls, everything is working the way it's supposed to. Let's go ahead and we'll load the approach in a second. We've got bugged runway heading, we're going to climb 2,500. We're going to switch over as soon as we're at 400, 500 feet. And everything looks ready to go, so without any further ado. Okay, RPMs look as expected. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive. On the center line. $65. And accelerate to 86. Laps coming up. Pitch for 96. That's what we're going to climb at. And we're flying off instruments. A little windy. Okay, 500 feet, caps available, switching over to tamper approach. Tamper approach, 195 Julie Golf is 600, climbing 2,500. They'd say, okay, make a right turn to heading, well, they'd take us a little further. They'd keep us at this for a bit. Okay, we're in the soup. It looks real, I gotta tell you. The plane doesn't want to stay trimmed. Okay, about now they give us a heading of 320. So turn left 320, and we'd say left 320, 15 Julie Golf. 2,000 feet, 500 to go. I don't have the chat open right now, guys, so I can't see what's going on in there. Okay, coming up to 2,500. Making the throttle back to 75% power. Trim the airplane. Fuel pump off, landing light off. And let's go ahead and go heading mode and out. And autopilot on. Okay, autopilot is doing what we expect it to do. And we're in cruise flight. Well, we were at minimums. Looks like it broke it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and set the weather so that we are in the soup. I'm just going to go in here very quickly and change to manually configured. Change this overcast cumulus to overcast stratus with a top of 2,800 and a base of 800. That should fix it. Yep. Okay. Computer's flying the airplane. This plane is the SR-20 from AirNat 24, I think. Good morning, Edward. Yeah. Pilots plus New Bristol. Well, always happy to make a visit. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's take us this way a little bit here, given the way it's flying us on the map. Let's go ahead and brief this approach. This is the RNAV GPS runway 13 into Venice. The approach is current. AWAS 119.275. Let's go ahead and pick that up.
Venice Muni weather. Wind 040 at 7. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 800 overcast. Temperature 2.11. Altimeter 2999.
Okay, 2999 we still have, and then the wind is going to be 0407. Okay. Tampa approach, we're talking to Venice Muni next is going to be 122.72. We've got that loaded in, ready to go on COM 1. WAS, we're WAS enabled, and that's working for us. Let's go ahead and load the approach. RNAV 13 from FAVTA. And we can go ahead and activate that approach because we will go direct when we have the chance. Do a quick map check, make sure it looks accurate. It does. We won't be flying the hold at FAVTA because we'll be going from the non-procedure side. Let's go ahead and cross-fill it down here so you guys can see it. Yep. Okay, that looks good. And again, we're in heading mode right now. Final approach course will be 140. Our minimums at our final approach fix, which is Jivga, is going to be 1,600. We have an MDA here for the circle to land of 500 feet. Not an LPV approach. We can certainly ride the glide slope on the LPV down to 500, but our minimums are 500 for the circle to land approach. Airport elevation is 18, touchdown is 16. We've got a TA of 30 nautical miles IF. TA is going to show us the minimum of 2,000 on the procedure turn. We're at 2,500, so we're okay for that. Missed approach, climb 2,000 and direct like and hold. That's basically straight ahead, and looking at that, we're going to be making a teardrop entry into that hold. We've got the local altimeter settings, so we're good. The rest of the notes don't apply for us. Looking at plan view, we're coming up here pretty quick to FAVTA, as you can see, at which point they'll give us vectors to go direct to FAVTA. And then we'll start to slow the airplane down. We'll go to 50% power, which is our approach power setting, and starting getting configured for that first descent. We'll go down to 2,000 at FABTA. And in fact, they might tell us to go ahead and descend to 2,000 now. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. And we can just take the power back to 50% for that. Wow, why did it do that? Autopilot disconnect. Didn't like that one bit, did it? It cratered us. Alright, let's hand fly it from here anyway. Trimmed us all the way down. I got to get the trim back up. It was almost like a runaway trim setting. Luckily we didn't go below 2,000. Still a runaway trim. Get ourselves stabilized here. Alright, well, a little autopilot problem. That can happen in the real world. Get my trim reset. Okay, there we go. Alright, now they might give us a heading of, they might give us a heading of like 180 or 2,000. Get our heading bugged here to 2,000 feet. Boy, the airplane is just rocketing up and down here with the trim. I don't know what that's about. Alright. We'll start coming down. Make our turn here for vectors to FABTA. Usually when I change that altimeter setting, or that altitude setting, it just goes down at 500 feet per minute, but it certainly didn't do that here. Okay, we're going to be 2,000 at FABTA, then down to 160, then down to 500, which is our MDA. Missed approach point is runway 13. We're going to be circled to land here. Okay, and they're going to let us come down to 2,000 feet, which we're getting closer. Now we can go direct to FABTA. Do that down here too, so you guys can see that. And we're not going to do that procedure turn. What do we have? 2999 was our out. 2999. Is that right? This is, for some reason, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this thing is sort of freaking out on me here. This particular FIP. And I think it's a problem with the SciTech drivers. But I'll get that figured out. Okay, we're coming to FABTA. Airplane still wants to ascend and descend in strange ways. 2,000 feet. Like, look at that. Now it just went up 1,000 feet per minute. Like, what's going on? Okay. Coming to FABTA, staying above 2,000. Final approach coast is going to be 140. Let's go ahead and get that bugged. We won't be making the procedure turn here. So I'm going to go ahead and select. We're not going to go with the hold, so we're going to go next to Jivga. We do that down here. Okay. And we can go down now to 1,600 feet. Again, the airplane. Maybe it's the dynamics of how I have the weather set. 1,600 is our next altitude. Okay, we would now be ready to switch over. We're also going to be, Jivga is our final approach point, so we're going to get flaps in before we get there. There's 1,600 feet. Get the airplane down to below 116 knots, then we can put in the flaps. I guess it's simulating turbulence in the way it's moving me around, that's fine. Got a 10 knot crosswind here, so we've got to accommodate that in the flying the needle. There go all our FIPs for some reason. It's alright, we'll just keep flying off this. I don't know why they all reset. There we go. At least they came back. Okay, flaps 10. Or flaps 50, I mean. And keep it at 1,600. And we'll go 50% power until we are at Jivga. Jivga, we can go down to I think if the Cytex driver software is running at the same time as, in fact, I'm going to just fix this real quick. I think if the Cytex driver is running at the same time as X-Plane, it confuses it. So I'm going to go to Project Lasso real quick. I'm going to terminate that Cytex process. See what that does. We'll see if that causes me to lose all of this or to keep it. So far, looks okay. Yeah, it's all working. So you don't need that Cytex software. Okay, we're coming to Jivga, 1,600. A little right of course. There we go. Coming into that glide slope. And then we can fly that glide slope down to 1,500. Or to 500. No problem. Okay, runway 13, now we can take our power back to about 35% and start flying the glide slope. 3-degree glide slope for us to be a descent rate of about 500 feet a minute. A little above it, and we are certainly to the side of it, so let's get back over and catch it. Here it comes. Only need 5 or 6 degrees to catch it. Okay, our next altitude is 500 feet. That's our MDA. We're on speed, 94 knots, right where we want to be. We're a little above the glide slope. I'll take a little power out. Coming down to 1,000 feet, 500 to go. We're chasing the slope just a little bit here. There we go. $300 to go. Okay, we have the runway environment. There's the runway. We can go down to 500 to circle the land. Given what the ceilings are, let's keep it at 600. So I'll go 50% power here, level us off. And we're going to circle the land on 1.5, so let's go ahead and get that, or 0.5, so let's get that bugged. then I'll look at the chat when we're there. Okay, we can go ahead and make our downwind turn. We would have switched over. We'd be talking to the local CTAF frequency at this point. Now we're only 600 feet, so not the normal 1,000, so we're going to keep it here for a minute until we've got 45 degrees, and then we'll make a turn to that runway. And now it looks like a pretty good time. So we tell them we're turning left base, 05. And again, we're presuming we're going mist until we find out we're not. Although we can see it, so we're good. Not going to put in full flaps. Keep ourselves, well, we can do that. We don't need to be stabilized because we're out of the soup. We can see what we're doing. Turning downwind 05, and now we can bring our power out to about 35% or so. A little high, just take some power out. Get ourselves trimmed for about 85 knots, that's good. I took the stability setting all the way down to 0 in X-plane, and it's really made the airplane unstable. About 79 over the fence. A little bit of that crosswind there. All right. We would roll out to taxiway Charlie, which is right here. Put up the flaps. And that is the runway 1, or runway 31, circle around runway 5 at Venice. I'll look at the chat here for a second. It's the only one I'm going to have time to do today, so that'll be it for the stream, but that seemed to have gone okay. The key thing is there were no crashes. Oh, I had it out the front view the whole... Did I have it out the side window the whole way? Oh, man. Sorry, Marco, I didn't realize that. Yeah, sorry, guys. Camera switched to wing view the whole time. Wonder why. Well, if it was any consolation, the landing was great. Sorry about that. All right, well, there you go. Thanks for watching. I gotta find some way to monitor this while I'm flying so that I can see when that happens, so that if it switches, we can see that it switched. But yeah, maybe I can find a way to do replay mode. Let me see if I can do that real fast. Hold on. Let's see. Toggle replay mode. Okay. So let's back it up. All right. Replay mode. Bet. Going kind of fast here until we get out of the soup. At some point here we get out of the soup. Let me see where we are. Yeah, it's here in just a second. We'll just watch this replay real quick, then I gotta go. So I guess I can narrate this. Yeah, I don't know why I went to wing view. Sorry about that. Should be coming out of the soup here any minute. 800. There we go. Have fun watching the wing. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, there's coffee, Scott, in this cup. The cockpit cost a lot. I've been working on it for a long time. So it's been a labor of love. I have no idea how much I've spent on it total now. But I'm still using the same PC I bought 4 years ago. I've never upgraded the PC. I'm absolutely ready for MFS 2020. I think it's going to be incredible. When I bugged 2,000 feet is when it changed views. Wow, that was a long time ago. I fly down to Venice every once in a while. In the real world, there's a great little cafe there. Serves Caribbean food that's really good. Oh, that's a good idea. Cleared, I could do that. I gotta figure out how I do that. I don't know if I have the monitor space to do that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 monitors running right now. Yeah, and this is the EFIS is it's AirPlay. It's a modification that I did in Air Manager of the standard Avidyne PFD, and it's uploaded to Air Manager. You can actually get it there, and it is running on a Surface tablet, an older Surface tablet that I had lying around, and it's using the AirPlayer software. Any news about my book? The book will never get finished. I don't know. I don't know. There's, getting it together and figuring out how I account for it and everything just feels like a little bit more than I'm willing to take on right now, but I could probably be encouraged. Okay, so we've turned. We're a little left of the strip here, a little right of the strip, and a little high. And just taking power out, keeping the speed on right about 83 knots, which is perfect for the Cirrus. Yeah, it's moving around quite a bit, isn't it? I guess the crosswinds and the turbulence wasn't making that up. The IFR training's going well. I'm almost done, so I'll keep you all posted about that. It's interesting watching this on the stream, because the stream's a few minutes behind me, but gives me a chance to see. I really just need to keep this open. If I keep this open on the iPad, I can see if I've made a mistake and flipped over the view accidentally. All right. Well, there you go. So that's it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for the idea of me running back and running the replay, because, well, yeah, I could use a phone to watch it, I guess. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I could use a phone or put a little tablet here to see comments. That's a good idea. Then it's not on the iPad. Yeah, I could do that. All right, guys, I gotta run. Thanks for watching. I'll probably leave this one up online, even though it has the left wing view for however long it has it. I wonder why it changed that view when I did that. I wonder if I have Oh, I bet I have one of these same bugs set to the same letters that I use here to switch the views. Anyway, all right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time around on the glide slope. Thanks.